Mr. Mason, you say today will determine the future of your relationship with the defendant, Ms. Malone. You say you lost all trust when you set up a watchdog to keep tabs on Ms. Malone and discovered that she had men coming in and out of the house while you were at work. And now you believe 1-year-old Avery is not your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Malone, you admit to cheating on your boyfriend, but are positive he's Avery's father. Today, you are hoping the DNA test will restore your relationship. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Malone, why are these results so important to you?
The results are real important to me because I really want to know if Avery's really mine or if she isn't.
And so, take me back. I want to understand the nature of this relationship.
Okay, when me and Miss Malone actually first met, we met on a website. I took her out on a date. We went to somewhere to eat.
So this started out as a regular courtship.
Yes,
You
Your
went
Honor.
on a date.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Malone, you had a great relationship in the beginning.
Yes, ma'am.
And then somewhere along the line, it started getting a little wishy-washy.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened?
I found out that she was doing a lot of sneaking around when I was in the house.
What kind of
And-
sneaking?
Going through the alleys, meeting people.
In the alley?
In people's cars.
You were walking in the alleys, Ms. Malone?
Yes, I was sneaking around, in fact, but there was a break.
You were sneaking around doing what?
Seeing other guys. But there was a break because he wasn't showing me any attention.
We wasn't on a break at all. We wasn't on a break.
Were you
For
all
my
committed?
knowledge, we was in a relationship
Your Honor,
still.
yeah, we've been on and off for 3 years now. Right now, we're off.
Are you living together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're off, but you live together.
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
It's been like that.
How's that work?
It's real awkward. But I'm there for the kids and because I still love Miss Malone. And I was hoping that we could work it out, but...
So that's why today's results are so important because truthfully, when I say your relationship is on the line, it's more than just a relationship, it's your home. I mean, you all are still living in a home together.
Yes,
Yes,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
All right, you said she starts sneaking. Tell me what happened.
I had somebody tell me that she was going out the back door and down the alley to jump in somebody's car.
I was actually coaching a local cheerleading team in our city, and a guy had came to pick me up to take me to our game that we had that day. It was no relations, it was, we were strictly friends, and that was it.
So can you see why he maybe was suspicious about you getting picked up in the alley if you also admitted you were sleeping with other people or?
Yes, Your
I mean, it's already confusing because he said he wasn't on break, but you said you were. That doesn't work.
Yes, Your Honor, but when we first met, I was young, didn't have any kids. I wanted to explore my options. It was, when we met, it was kind of forced.
When you say forced, what do you mean?
He moved in with us after probably a month or 2 months after we met.
No.
Moved in with you and, you say us.
Me and my family members.
Okay, you and your, oh, he moved in.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So the bottom line is very
So-
quickly after you met, all of a sudden you were living together.
Yes,
Yes.
Your Honor.
So when you say, Ms. Malone, it all just happened so fast and I was young, I was 19 years old, next thing you know, I'm kind of in this relationship with a guy, but once he's living with me, then it kind of turned into more of a relationship than you expected.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I get it now. Now I understand where we are. So you all are in this relationship, you start feeling like she's sneaking around. When your court papers, you went with real detective.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened?
I had a friend watching my front door who lived right across from where we lived at.
Oh, you had a
Every
watchdog, right?
Yes, Your Honor, every time I went to work. She blamed it on because me and her wasn't having any intimacy or anything like that.
Do you remember that confrontation, Ms. Malone?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what did you respond?
I told him that it was my father that came to the door. And he actually asked my father, and my father said, yes, I came over there that day.
Did your watchdog say that there were any other men, Mr. Mason?
Yes, Your Honor.
Really?
There were multiple.
Did he give descriptions
And-
of all of them?
No, Your Honor,
Yes,
it was
Your
not.
Honor. Yes,
No, it
Your Honor,
wasn't.
he actually did.
No,
Yes,
it wasn't.
Your Honor, he actually did.
When I cheated on Mr. Mason. We was having problems in our relationship. Because the simple fact he was not showing me any attention, he just wasn't being a man that I expected him to be.
Okay, so let me say this. When it comes to the window of conception, that's what's relevant as it relates to the paternity. So when you cheated, when you were out with this other person, was that during the window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
It was. All right. Now, when you were cheating, did you all use protection?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. When you cheated, did you also have an intimate relationship with Mr. Mason during the same window of conception?
Yes, Your Honor, multiple times.
Multiple times. All right, so then that's why we're here. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So when you found out you were pregnant, did you tell the other guy it could possibly be his child as well?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
When you told Mr. Mason you were pregnant, did you also say to him, and you know because I cheated, it could possibly be the other guy's child as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
So she did tell you that, Mr. Mason?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why'd you hesitate?
But I had to find out about the other guy from waking up out of my sleep, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, he did not.
What happened?
I overheard a conversation between her and another individual about she found the other guy on a website and how much Avery and the other guy and the other guy's child looked just alike. When I brought it to her attention, Your Honor,
that is not true.
She said she didn't want me to find out like this and that I was awake and I overheard everything.
Your Honor, that is not true. However, I told him as soon as I found out I was pregnant with her, he had so much anger, he decides to announce it with a room full of our friends and my mom.
Your Honor, I had anger for the simple fact that I was working all these hours trying to provide for my family. And she's sneaking with different guys in and out of the house.
And that hurt you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so you made an announcement?
I just announced that she was pregnant. That was it.
And it was not his.
While her mother
In front of everybody in the living room.
While her
Your
mother
Honor.
was present, Your Honor, I announced that she was pregnant.
And
I
friends.
may have said that she's not mine.
Okay, well that's an announcement.
Your Honor, I also have a Facebook post on us talking back and forth about our oldest child and my youngest. If I could go up there and...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Please explain what's going on here.
Okay. This is, however, our daughter Avery. This is me, LaQuisha Malone. Do you know who this is? Me again. Do you know this is Avery? Mr. Mason, it's not. Me. Yes, it is. You can't tell me that's not Avery. Mr. Mason, okay, I'll show you. Me. No, Marcus, don't argue with me. It's Avery. Me. I'ma show you Kaysen. This is our oldest daughter, Kaysen.
Oh.
He couldn't tell them apart. Is why I think he's the father of Avery.
When you looked at those pictures, Mr. Mason, did that help your doubt subside?
No, Your Honor. Kaysen doesn't have chubby cheeks. The nose is totally different. They look nothing alike.
To me, they look
Nothing
identical.
at all.
Well, one baby's in the womb and one isn't.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
It was a 3D
That's what she's
ultrasound.
comparing to, a 3D ultrasound picture versus a real picture. Your Honor, at first it was two guys that popped up at our doorstep saying they were Avery's father.
What?
There was a guy that came to the doorstep
You said
that
two.
I had relations with.
Then you narrowed down to one.
But we actually wore protection, so he was out the question.
When you say this gentleman popped up, he says there's even another gentleman that came. It just is hard for me to believe that you can say 100% certain that you believe Mr. Mason is the biological father when you're admitting that you were intimate with other people during the window. You know, both children could look alike because they share the same mother. Miss Malone, Your mother is actually here, and I'd like to bring her into the courtroom. Jerome, will you please escort Ms. Malone's mother in? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Please be seated. I have to ask you, do you believe Mr. Mason is your granddaughter's biological father?
No, I do not. Because they were on a break when she was conceived. And I knew that my child was seeing someone else because they were on a break. To me, she doesn't look like him. And I was in the room when she was born. He did not attempt to come up there. I tried. No, you didn't.
You don't seem like you're a fan of Mr. Mason.
No, I'm not.
But your daughter maintains and has testified that she truly believes he is.
She loves the man, so of course she wants all her children to be by the same person. I understand that. And for her sake, I hope that she is his. For her sake. But as far as him, no.
Is it because you don't like him, or is it because you just truly don't believe he is?
I know, I truly don't believe that he is. And if he's not, que sera, sera, whatever will be, because I'm gonna be the mama regardless. I'm gonna help her do whatever.
Is it really isn't que sera, sera? Because in the court papers, it says that Ms. Malone is currently pregnant again.
Yeah.
How far along are you, Ms. Malone?
I'm 6 months, Your Honor.
Is there a question as to the paternity of this child as well?
Yes, Your Honor. He doesn't think that the unborn is his.
I did it first until I found proof of doubt in Miss Malone's phone. This is your son. Don't he look just like you?
Your Honor, yes, I had doubt because at that time we were not together. We had broken up. And
Yeah,
I
Your
was
Honor, I have to
with
say
this
half.
other guy.
You had moved on and you were now dating this guy.
She was having
Yes, Your
a
Honor.
relationship with him, but
And
yet
cheated on
still cheating
him
on him with me.
Him.
Oh my goodness. So does he know this child you're carrying could potentially be his?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is he the same guy that may be Avery's father?
No, Your Honor.
I think I've heard enough. I think we should go to the results. Jerome?
Please.
We have results for Avery, and we also have the results for the unborn child since paternity is in question. First result is for Avery. In the case of Mason versus Malone, when it comes to 1-year-old Avery Malone, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Mason, you are not her father. What are you feeling in this moment, sir?
I'm mad, Your Honor. But I can't be really mad about something that I already knew.
Ms. Malone, this other person, have you asked him whether he would be interested in being a part of Avery's life?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
He has no interest. I think we need to move on to the unborn child. Now, in order for us to determine paternity, a prenatal DNA test was performed. A blood sample was drawn from the mother, and fetal DNA was isolated from the sample. Genetic analysis was performed, and a probability of paternity was generated. In the case of Mason versus Malone, when it comes to the child that Ms. Malone is currently carrying, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Mason, you are the father. Well, this is a mess. You have to at least be committed to co-parenting and learning how to raise the children you do have together well, and learning how to be committed to leaving each other alone. If you're gonna do that. And if you're gonna be in a relationship, you need to figure out how to be committed in the relationship. But now you're gonna have a complicated situation because Avery, father, is going to need and deserve the opportunity to be a part of her life as well.
Your Honor, if he doesn't step up, I'll still take responsibility.
Ms. Moyett, you're here in court today to prove that Mr. Lester, a man who is 20 years older than you, is the father of your 3-month-old daughter, Nyla Moyett. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim Mr. Lester has done nothing for your daughter, therefore you're suing for half of child-rearing expenses.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lester, you say that you and Ms. Moyett were never in a relationship and that she had multiple sex partners during her time of conception, so you are 100% certain that you are not the father of baby Nyla.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Moyett, what has been Mr. Lester's involvement in baby Nyla's life since her birth?
Well, Your Honor, Mr. Lester has hardly been involved in Nyla's life. Besides the fact of 3 cases of diapers, a onesie that he bought for her, which was a boy outfit. Other than that, me and my mother have been providing for her food, milk, and everything and things like that. I also have evidence here showing you that I have been buying, providing clothes, food, cribs,
Let me see that evidence. Mr. Lester, you haven't done anything for the child?
That's not correct, Your Honor. I did buy sleepers, bottles, and things of that nature.
Did he buy some sleepers and some bottles?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this list of expenses that you've presented to the court outlines various monthly expenses: formula, diapers, wipes, clothes. Expenses total $1,109 in child care expenses. Mr. Lester, you say you've contributed to some of that.
Yes, Your Honor.
He's contributed to 3 cases of diapers and some sleepers that's for a boy.
Okay, but she could still wear them.
She could still wear them, but you knew I had a girl. Why you coming in my house with boy clothes?
No, I understand that. So diapers and some onesies you've purchased. How much do you think he spent on your child thus far?
He spent maybe about $250 on Nyla so far.
Do you agree with that, Mr. Lester?
I don't keep account on how much
Do you have
I
any
spent.
receipts?
No, I don't.
Without any receipts or proof of what you say you spend, I can only go off of what Ms. Moyett says you spent and what the evidence is that's presented.
I understand.
Let me move forward and hear more about the case. I'll get back to this in just a moment. When you told him about the pregnancy, what was his reaction, Ms. Moyett?
He was not happy. I actually planned this pregnancy. I went over to his house the day I was ovulating, okay? And I let him know, babe, I'm ovulating. I want to have a baby. We did nothing.
That is not true.
Yeah, we
Your
did
Honor.
nothing to prevent Nyla. And to make matters even worse, since I've had Nyla, we still haven't done anything to prevent another one. He's actually even told me, I went to my 6 week.
We don't even have sex.
Yeah, can I speak, Mr. Lester? Actually, I went to my 6-week prenatal appointment and asked him, yes, they're gonna ask me, do I want birth control? Should I get on it? He told me no, because I'm gonna want another one soon.
Your Honor, that is so not true.
Your Honor, yes, it is.
Not only do we not have a sexual relationship now, we haven't since she told me she was pregnant.
Your Honor, that's a lie. And now it's not. Your Honor, we've had sex since I've had my daughter 5 times. I've counted.
That's not true.
Well, she's only 3 months old.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Lester, you're saying that this is all in her mind?
Yes, Your Honor. It is definitely in her mind.
We've had sex, and I don't know why you're lying. Like we did. We just had sex yesterday.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true, Your Honor. That's true. Yeah, but can I explain, Your Honor? Yesterday we did have sex. That is true. Prior to that, and
yesterday when you had sex, did you use protection?
Yeah.
No.
Iris.
Your Honor, I have no reason to lie. I planned my baby's pregnancy. I planned this. I wanted to be with him. I still want to be with him.
What she's saying is you were having unprotected sex with her then, And even since this child's birth, you're still having unprotected sex with her, which means that you are a possible father if, in fact, that sex occurred during the window of conception.
I understand that, Your Honor.
So do you agree that you had sex with her during the time when Nyla was conceived?
Yes, I did.
And that sex was unprotected?
Without protection, no.
Your Honor, that's a lie. Me and Nate have never used a condom since the first time we've ever had sex.
No, that is a lie,
That
Your
is
Honor.
not a lie.
And you're saying, Miss Moyett, you planned the pregnancy?
I planned the pregnancy.
Are you deciding in your own mind, I'm gonna have a baby, or are you consulting with him and he's agreeing?
No, I consulted, he didn't agree.
Oh, wait. So you said, I want to have a baby, and he said, I don't want to have a baby, and then you went on ahead and had a baby.
Correct.
Well, she told the truth.
Yes, she did.
Mr. Lester,
Yes, Your Honor.
you weren't interested in having a child.
No, I wasn't, Your Honor. I only was interested in the friendship. She became more obsessed. Every time she expressed how much she cared for me and how much she wanted to be in a relationship, I expressed how much I didn't want. And I never misled Miss Moyett or anybody when I told her that this was strictly about sex. I did want a sexual relationship without being in a committed relationship. I did want that, and she agreed to it.
I
And we
agreed
both-
to it in the
we both
beginning. And when he
agreed to
told
that.
me that he loved me, it opened me up to the fact that, well, maybe it could be. I mean, my background is not the best as far as me and my father. So him coming along, being older, being what I wanted from my father, I clung to that. When you're with someone every single day and you're at his house every single day, how are we not together? How are we not boyfriend and girlfriend? And my mother could contest to that.
Your Honor, that is so not true. We were not together every day. I wasn't mentally ready for a committed relationship, but I did
But
want
Mr.
a
Lester,
friendship.
whether you were ready or not has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not you are Nyla's biological father. You understand that?
I totally agree.
Because, look, you're 45 years old.
Absolutely.
So when a woman says to you, I want to have your baby, and you say, no, I really don't want you to, and you're still having sex without protecting yourself, you're setting yourself up.
I've only had sex with Iris for 5 times.
That's a lie. You've never used
Your
a
Honor.
condom. Now, with the girls that he's cheating on me with, he used condoms, but he's never used a condom with me, and you know that. So stop lying.
Your Honor,
Stop.
not only did we use a condom the
I
first
never
day,
used a condom with
Iris,
Nathaniel.
we
Why would I
always-
get on national TV and say I never used a condom? That's not a good thing.
That is very honest testimony, Jerome. Mr. Lester, I want to ask you, what are your doubts exactly?
I have at least 5 doubts, and I would like to show.
I see you brought an exhibit.
Yes. And yes.
Go ahead on over to you
Thank you.
and represent yourself.
My first doubt is when I first met Miss Moyett, she told me her name was Mia.
Okay.
Come to find out her name was Iris. I left her name in my contents as Mia because she was always missing in action. That's what MIA stand for. 2, she told me out of her own mouth she had a boyfriend.
Okay.
1, she didn't appreciate that I wasn't spending time with her, I don't show her any affection, and that she has a boyfriend that's better than me. And I asked her, well, why you calling me tonight? Her response to me was, I could do both of y'all. I could do him Monday and do you Tuesday.
Yana, that's a lie. Let me tell you, that's a lie, Yana.
Thirdly, I come by, I see her with the same guy over and over and over again.
The neighborhood guy.
The neighborhood guy, yes. Over and over and over again. She admitted to having sex with that guy.
That
because
is true.
I asked, why you always...
That
is
is
true.
true. That is true, Jerome.
4,
She
Told the
did.
truth again.
fourthly, she used to ask me to take her over to a relative's house. Come to find out, that house, I've learned through the street, is a party house, AKA sex house.
A sex house?
That's not
sex
true, Your
house.
Honor.
Wait a minute. First of all, tell me
confronted-
what a sex house is.
What's the sex house?
A sex house is a party house. I learned
Your
Miss
Honor, he
Moyett,
dropped-
were you having sex at the party house?
No, but he did drop me off at that house occasionally. He did drop
Was it
me.
the party house?
No, it's not a party house. It's a friend of mine's house.
Do
And
people have sex there?
She doesn't allow anyone to have sex in her house but her and her husband.
That's not true, Your Honor. I
A
know
lot of
for a
and
fact-
number 3 to 1, it ain't true.
I know for a fact that house is a party. Is not good.
Okay.
Fifth,
We always had protected sex.
we have protected sex, Your Honor.
Miss
Let me
Yana,
explain.
Miss,
Let me
Mr.
explain.
Lester and I have never had protected sex.
Only when Iris forced herself on me did we not have protected. And when I
Whether
say
I forced myself on him or not, it was always unprotected.
I know how old I am, and I know what sex leads to. And I just want to point out to you the percentages of older men having babies and how it declines.
Some more research.
Yes, some research.
Let me
I've
see
done,
that, Jerome.
and I
Mr.
doubt
Lester,
that I
you're
have.
trying this case. You better go ahead.
Yeah.
You got your evidence.
Yes.
So it says between the ages of 30 and 50, the average man's sperm declines by up to 30% in volume and swims up to 37% slower.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
your research shows that you're slowing down.
Exactly. With the fact that she has other partners, so the chances of me being the father is very slim. And
Do you have any children?
yes, I do, Your
Who
Honor.
he does everything in the world for
Absolutely.
and won't even acknowledge my daughter. Do you know how hurtful it is to be on the phone with him and he's planning his future and my daughter's name won't even come up? And it's just hurtful because that's mine. And I don't know, like he wouldn't even rub my belly when I was pregnant. He wouldn't, it was like I couldn't even get him to acknowledge the fact that I was pregnant. I couldn't get him to go look at an ultrasound picture with me. I couldn't get him to do anything. I couldn't ask him for ice without him getting irritated. I couldn't ask him for something to eat without getting me kicked out.
I have to say this to young women all the time. Why are we having children by men that don't want us or children by us? Why are we making these decisions? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
You brought a witness. I want to hear from her. Your name is?
Tyra Williams.
Ms. Williams. Thank you for being here. You are Ms.
Moyett's mother.
Mother. Okay.
Yes.
What do you know about this situation?
I know what's been put in front of me, Your Honor. I know he lied about his age.
He did?
Yes. He told her he was 39 years old. It wasn't until later on she found out that he was 45 years old. I'm 44, okay? He was calling me Miss Tyra all the way up until I found out. And I told him, don't call me Miss Tyra, you older than me.
And you knew that?
My age has nothing to do with two grown people having a child.
Because you were old enough to be her father. Is there a reason why you going after 25, 26-year-old women?
Your Honor, I've never misled Iris on our status.
Do you hear what he's saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know when you say you had the love of an older man, it was filling a void you felt for not having the love of your father. You were saying that. But regardless of what this result is today, I don't want you running around behind him. Do you understand me?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're better than that, and you deserve more than that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right? I'm ready for the result. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Moyett versus Lester, pertaining to 3-month-old Nyla Moyett, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Lester,
Yes.
you are Nyla's father.
Yes! Yes!
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Didn't I tell you?
Ma'am.
Didn't I tell
You
you?
need to be
Ms.
respectful.
Moyett,
Didn't I
no,
tell you?
Ma'am. I understand you're upset. Use proper language. Do not approach him. Go ahead and have a seat.
Mom, I told him that that baby was his. I know it.
I know, and it's over now. It's over.
Take a deep breath, Ms. Moyett.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It's so sad because I gotta protect her, and it just hurt for me to look at her every day knowing somebody denying her.
Mr. Lester, what do you feel?
Torn because I never ever meant to hurt Iris in any type of way, but I was always stern on how I felt as far as a relationship.
You didn't protect yourself, so you set yourself up for this one. And if you're gonna play, you now got to what?
Pay.
Pay.
And I don't have a problem with that.
Ms. Moyett, you presented expenses to the court totaling $1,109. Mr. Lester did contribute, you both agree, $250 towards child-rearing expenses. That leaves a total of $859, half of which is $429.50. For that reason, my judgment is in favor of the plaintiff for $429.50. Are we clear? Mr. James, you and Ms. Schimmel have been in court over fidelity issues in the past. Now you are back in court and you are claiming that it would have been nearly impossible for you to have fathered Ms. Schimmel's 2-year-old daughter, O'Shell. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Shimmel, you claim that despite the occurrence of several seemingly unbelievable coincidences, you have absolutely no doubt Mr. James fathered your daughter and you intend to prove paternity today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. James, why do you say it would have been nearly impossible for you to have fathered Ms. Schimmel's daughter? Explain.
Well, Judge, just like you said, it's merely impossible for me to have fathered O'Shell. It just doesn't make any sense because we only slept together one time.
That's all it takes.
I agree. But she had an ongoing boyfriend at the time. And it just doesn't make sense. The timeline is all the way off.
So Mr. James says it doesn't make sense and the timing is off, Ms. Schimmel. Does it make sense to you?
Your Honor, I'm 100% sure that Randall is the father of my 2-year-old daughter.
She told me she was 100% sure that her ex-boyfriend was the father at the time.
Well, because of the dates of conception, I believe that he is the father. I'm here today because I want to prove that to him.
Convenient.
It's caused a lot of strain on our relationship. I would like to get married and have a happy whole family. And this is causing so many complications and so much pain that we just need to solve this today.
All right. So take me back to the nature of this relationship. How'd you guys meet? You say your relationship has been through some turmoil, but how did you meet? How did you connect?
We met at a party in Flint. She was very fun. When I met her, we had a good time. We drank a lot, and we left together. We left the party together, and we went to a room.
Lord, so you didn't waste any time?
No, ma'am.
So you go to the room and you're intimate?
Correct.
With protection or unprotected?
No, we did not. We did not use protection. So I got up the next morning. And I went home. 2 days later, she texted me, and she told me she wanted to break it off. She didn't want to talk to me, text me. She wanted to just patch things up with her ex-boyfriend. We didn't talk for about a year, 11 months to a year. I was working in a factory. Just so happened that she comes walking into the factory, and we see each other again.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't even recognize her. Her hair was different. I didn't really recognize her at all.
Well, it was just one night. Did you get a good look at her? Go ahead.
Well, she came to me and said, I have a 2-month-old daughter, and it is her ex's daughter.
Oh, she
because
said...
at that time, I really believed that she was his child.
You said, I have a daughter, and she's by my ex.
Yes.
My ex is the father.
Yes.
And that didn't bother you, and you went on ahead and pursued the relationship.
Correct. Because
so you guys start dating again.
Yes, hardcore. And she told me in the beginning that this other gentleman, her ex, was the father. So for at least 9 to 10 months that we had been together after that, I was prepared for that. I mean, I was thinking that her ex was the father.
Right.
So I come home from work one day, she sits me down and she's like, I gotta talk to you about something. And I'm like, what's up? And she's like, well, I went down and had O'Shell tested and I just got the results back. Here they are. So I'm sitting here like, what are you talking about? Because you've been telling me that, why did you even have to need a DNA test if you believe that your ex is the father?
Right.
So evidently he had doubt, and that brought up a lot of doubt to me.
They
Right
look a
there.
lot alike. I mean, all my kids look alike. I had them all early. There's a lot of things, you know, they look like me. So I don't understand why he's still denying my child.
Well, I think it has a little
No.
bit to do with the fact that you had the ex tested and that you told him that the ex was the dad. So once you tell somebody that my ex is definitely the dad, he still buys in, has a relationship, you all make more children, then you go and test your ex and only determine that he's not the father, then you just proclaim that he is.
Your Honor, I mean, we were both sleeping with other people. So at that time...
That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Well, as soon as she tells me that he's not the father, I'm sitting here like, oh, what is going on? She drops it on me, you're the father. I mean, it's in the same sentence. Now, you just went from this man being 100% the father to me being 100% the father. Who's the father?
That's why we're here.
And O'Shell is how old
But you're
at
the
this
father.
point?
She's
two.
She's 2.
And so, well, why doesn't that make sense? If the other guy is not the father, and she says you're the only other person she was with, why wouldn't you believe you are the father?
Because there's a third person involved. So this is where Sven comes in, okay?
What's his name?
His name is Sven.
Sven, okay.
This is what happened. We were driving home from an amusement park, and all of a sudden her phone goes off. Now I'm thinking, it's 12:30 at night. Who's messaging her? And I'm with her. So I'm driving, and she's sneakily and deleting it, sneaking it. So I'm telling her, I'm like, let me see the phone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to drive. Let me see the phone.
I didn't want an argument.
No. So I reached for the car and lost control of my car, wrecked my car.
Oh, Lord, and you all were okay, though?
We were okay, but I retrieved the phone. That's all I cared about, really. I didn't really care about the car.
Now you risking everybody's life over this phone?
I wanted to know who she was talking to at 12:30 at night.
Now you know it's gone too far then.
So
go ahead. So you have
see-
a car accident, but you get
and
the phone.
I see the messages. I see the messages are from Sven.
Oh.
It's asking her to come to the bar and meet him to have some drinks. Now I find out that because she kept saying to me that Sven was just a friend. Sven was just a friend. Now it's Sven is a long-time booty call. So now I don't know. But now I'm still the father.
So who is Sven, Miss Schimmel? Like, who is this? You got messages, he wants you to come to the bar, you're trying to delete the messages, getting in car accidents, trying to hide this man from Mr. James. Who is this man?
Yes, Your Honor. Sven is somebody that I always turn to. Like, whenever I had any type of problems in a relationship, whenever I was single, he was like my rebound guy. We were friends with benefits for like over 7 years, okay? I never messed with him since I've been in a relationship with Randall. I've been faithful to Randall.
I don't know that.
But were you,
my thing is that
sleeping with him during the window of conception?
2 days after I slept with him, I slept with Sven. But
When she
we
broke
used
up with me, she
protection,
went and slept
that's
with
why
Sven.
I feel like Randall is still 100% the father, because me and Sven used protection the night that we slept together.
Yeah, she was 100% sure with her ex, too.
Just to be clear, you don't use protection with a one-night stand, but you do use protection with a 7-year booty call.
We weren't gonna go any further than that, so why would I not use
This doesn't make sense,
How are you
Your Honor.
going any further with a one-night stand?
It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense.
Are you just picking a father, Miss Schimmel? Are you just? I'm not.
I mean,
even
look,
being
okay,
funny.
so, like, when the DNA test results came back, he was the first person I told. I came to him, I told him, you know what I mean? Like, this is how I feel. You're the only other option. You know what I mean? He's a great father. My kids have a lot of the same features, same eye shapes, same mannerisms, same smile, a lot of the same features. They look like me.
But that's not true, Your Honor. O'Shell has green eyes. None of my other kids have green eyes. I don't have anybody in my family that has green eyes. O'Shell has blonde hair. My other two kids have black hair, dark streak black hair, brown eyes. I love the little girl to death, but she's not mine.
She's yours. You're the father.
I don't believe so.
And so you've been in this relationship. You all are growing your family.
Yes. I love her with all my heart, but I was adopted, so I know the importance between knowing your biological family and my adopted family. They raised me in a very loving, happy family. My birth mom left me in the hospital when I was premature by 2 months, and she signed the adoption papers and left. So.
And I can see that still pains you.
Yes, it does a lot. And for that little girl to grow up and not know her real father or not know who her real father is, I wouldn't want her to do that.
I mean, I understand like having all these doubts to be a man and still take care of this child the way he has is really big. You know what I mean? It's something to be praised for, because there's not very men that are just gonna step up not knowing. But I'm 100% sure that he's the father, and I'm thankful for him being a part of my children's life.
And I hear you, Ms. Shimmel, and I also hear Mr. James. He is not sure. And your testimony just gave context to why, there are many men that just, I'm the father, they buy into it. We have 2 more children together, okay, it is what it is. But because of your life experience, you know what not having that information
Can do to you.
can do to you.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, it's causing a lot of hindrance in our relationship, for real. Just like the way there's sometimes where he'll go to the store and he'll be like, well, I'll take my kids, referring to the 2 that we have.
Really?
Yeah, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. It's really heartbreaking because, like, she's beautiful and she deserves the same love and attention that my other 2 have.
And she's innocent. And she's one of the 3 children you're raising in the household. Now, Mr. James, you done just spoke so beautifully about how it felt to be a child left behind. Why would you leave this baby behind when you go into the store?
I usually don't. I take her with me. I just say stuff like that because...
To hurt her?
Because I want her to tell the truth, and I want her to deal with the fact that I'm not her dad.
Before I go to the results, I want to make sure this baby gets the answer she deserves. Is there anybody else that could be her biological father?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Jerome, the only way we're gonna get the real truth is to get the results.
There you go.
The first set of results are for Sven. The second set is for Mr. James. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of James versus Shimmel, when it comes to 2-year-old O'Shell, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Swanson is not the father.
Are you kidding me?
Sven is not the father. Even though he was not able to appear in court today, he did voluntarily submit to the testing He is not O'Shelle's biological father. All right. The next result is for Mr. James. In the case of James versus Shimmel, when it comes to 2-year-old O'Shelle, it has been determined by this court. Mr. James, you are not the father. Miss Schimmel,
Come back.
I know you want to run, but you can't hide from yourself.
I'm sorry.
I told you that this just didn't make sense, man. And I hate this. I hate this because we still gonna not know who O'Shelle's father is. This won't, I mean, and I know she probably gonna wanna give up. And that's not gonna help our daughter. And I say our daughter because she's still mine. I know 100%.